What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now today we are going to be adding another episode to our series called Taking Them Down. Now this series focuses on certain mods that can be found in any tier really, but right now we're focusing on the OU tier and mods that are particularly common and problematic for certain teams. And this addresses really how to deal with them. And if your team struggles with one of these mods that is featured in this series, then consider putting one of these mods on your team, and it will really help you out. So today I was suggested to do Mimikyu. I had somebody ask me how to deal with Mimikyu and if I could do an episode on this. And of course, if you have any suggestions, be sure to leave those in the comments. I do read those, and I will make a video based on what it is that you want. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mimikyu is our video for today. A viewer said that he has been having a lot of issues and has been seeing a lot of these, and yeah, so I thought we would talk about Mimikyu and how to properly take it down. So this is the most common set that you're seeing on your screen right now. This is the Swords Dance Life Orb set, and what makes Mimikyu so scary is this disguise ability. So if you don't know what disguise does, basically it's a free substitute just for it existing. You switch in and you can take any hit and it will do no damage to you. Now Mimikyu is not as good as he was in Gen 7 because it didn't cause any damage at all previously. Now he at least takes an 8th damage whenever his disguise is broken, so this prevents him from running something like a focus sash in order to get up 2 swords dances, which would be ridiculous. But yeah, now he can only really get up the 1. You will also see some of these run Trick Room instead of Swords Dance. That's a thing that's also around, but much less common. But this is the most common set. It'll set up a Swords Dance right in your face as you bust the disguise. He falls over and then he proceeds to just sweep your team because 96 is very fast right now and he has priority. So yeah, this thing is a very big threat. At 90 attack with a free +2 just by existing, 96 speed, and he's not all that frail with 105 special defense. I mean, yeah, this thing's a problem. He really is a problem. So I thought we would go over some ways to deal with that today. Now, the first set that I use personally to deal with Mimikyu, this is the set that I use all the time, is a Scarf Excadrill. Now, you have seen a Scarf Excadrill on the channel before, and in that battle, I said specifically, this is to deal with Mimikyu because my team really struggles against Mimikyu. So this is to deal with Mimikyu. The Choice Scarf makes sure that you are faster than him, and so the only attack that he can go for is a Shadow Sneak, and you live a +2 Shadow Sneak from just really easily with this. You do have base 110 HP, which is great, so you do live that pretty easily. And then Ironhead just OHKOs. So why we're running Mold Breaker over Sand Rush, Mold Breaker ignores abilities, meaning you don't have to bust Mimikyu's disguise in order for it to take damage. So you just hit him with an Ironhead, even if his disguise is up, and it drops. It's dead instantly. So yeah, this is, in my opinion, the best counter to Mimikyu, but we do have others, and I wanted to go over those. This one's pretty self-explanatory, and I've shown it on the channel before, so be sure to check out those videos showing this. I have destroyed several Mimikyus using this set right here, and it's really good. Now, I don't know why I put Stealth Rock on this. That is for my Sash sets, but, you know, maybe I can put that on there instead. Or, actually, a Rock move would probably be the best. There we go. Rock Slide would be good right there. But yeah, so I would use this set right here, and this will help you deal with Mimikyu. So the next mon would be a Haxorus. Now notice this is choice banded and not choice scarfed. That is because we are 1 point faster than Mimikyu. So a Jolly max speed Haxorus will always outspeed a Mimikyu. You don't have to worry about it outspeeding you. And so you can just knock that out with a poison jab really easily. So, and then the rest of this is just to capitalize on his base 147 attack. Yeah, this thing is a huge threat, and literally nobody uses it. The biggest issue is Dragapult. It can't really deal with Dragapult all that well. But I mean, I love Haxorus. I think it hits like a truck. It's fast. It's a good mon. I really like it, and it'd be a very unusual counter to bring against Mimikyu. But with Mold Breaker, it does its job really, really well. The next set we're going to look at is a Galarian Weezing set. Now, we have not covered Galarian Weezing in our competitive deck series just yet, but he is coming very soon. We don't have very many left in that series, actually, but he is coming very soon, and this is one set that would totally shut down a Mimikyu wanting to try to attack you. So you just bring this in, and you have Neutralizing Gas. Neutralizing Gas, again, will ignore the disguise. On top of that, this thing also gets Will-O-Wisp. So Will-O-Wisp will then burn the Mimikyu, therefore nullifying the Swords Dance that it would get up. And then Sludge Wave, of course, would just... I don't know if it kills in one shot just because of Mimikyu's natural special bulk, but it ignores everything, and Mimikyu's not going to be doing any damage to you back. It's this is a really hard wall to Mimikyu. It really can't do anything to you. The next set that I want to look at, I know I'm moving through these pretty quickly, but they're pretty self-explanatory in themselves. We have a Corviknight. Now, Corviknight is, as you know, a super busted mon. It's really, really strong, and yeah, we've covered this in competitive decks. We've also covered it in the last episode of Taking Him Down. And there's good reason, because this thing is super, super good. With base 98 HP and 105 defense, you're taking hits for days. And plus that steel and flying typing, you resist everything. You only have 2 weaknesses, and you have so many resistances with this mon. It's a really, really great mon, and it hard walls Mimikyu. Basically, a Mimikyu comes in, you bring this in, and it's doing nothing. And so I suggest, for if your team struggles with Mimikyu, bring this Bulk Up Roost set, and you can just basically set up in this thing's face as it tries to set up in your face. And even though he is setting at +2 to your +1, you will win out, just because you have 105 defense naturally, and you're boosting that up every turn. He can't match that. And you have recovery. So, yeah, you're going to win that exchange every single time. So Corviknight, really, really great option for you as far as dealing with Mimikyu. And now the last option, again, a very, very vanilla counter, is Toxapex. So Toxapex is on a lot of teams, and for good reason. This thing is a huge counter to Mimikyu. It can take its hits like crazy. It has things like Toxic Spikes. It has Scald in case you want to burn something. And you also have Haze. Haze is super, super important because it allows you to get rid of Mimikyu's Swords Dance. So it tries to set up in your face. You just go for Haze, and he's back down to neutral. And especially if he's already in, you switch your Toxapex in and burn it. Yeah, he's completely useless for the rest of the battle. He's just basically sitting there waiting to die. So, yeah, these are some really, really great counters for you to consider on your team. So, again, to wrap it up, Scarf Excadrill, you're faster. Ironhead Okos, you go into Haxorus. Haxorus has Poison Jab. You are Choice Banded, which helps deal with a lot of things on a lot of different teams, but especially it's already naturally faster than Mimikyu. So, yeah, you're taking that down. Weezing can take any hit that Mimikyu wants to go for, boosted or not. And it has Will-O-Wisp, and it has Sludge Wave that ignores the disguise. It's a great mon. Corviknight, you can set up bulk ups and take hits way better than what he can deal them out, even if he keeps boosting in your face. And you have recovery while he doesn't. And then you have Toxapex. Toxapex can then hit it with Scald to bust the disguise. You can poison it using Toxic Spikes. You have Baneful Bunker. You have recovery. You have Haze to get rid of his Swords Dances. He's not doing any damage to you at all. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoy this series. I really like making videos like this, and so if you are interested in seeing another episode next week, please, in the comments below, go ahead and let me know what it is you would like to know what to take down. Now, additionally, I want to say thank you all so much. This week we reached 50 subscribers, which is really awesome. I know it's not much, but to me it's awesome. You know, this channel's only 2 months old, and I'm really excited to be able to have you guys here and to interact with you guys. We did have a live stream the other night. If you missed that, go ahead and check that out. We did the Galar Beginnings tournament. We did the first night of that, and we got in the top 200. If you didn't get to watch that, so it was a really fun stream. I got to interact with several of you who were watching, and yeah, it was just a great time, and I loved meeting you guys, and I'd love to meet more of you. So I'm really happy that we got to 50, and I can't wait to get the next 50 and so on. So anyway, that is going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for subscribing and sharing this with your friends. Until next time, bye-bye.